that investment. We're on the right track. Well done, Grant Robinson and the Māori caucus. Kia ora tātou.
Matt Ducey.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I rise to take my call and follow on from that last speaker to talk about the issue of mental health. And in fact, it wasn't that long ago that this government used to use words like transformational, transforming mental health. But interesting enough, with all the firestorm of last week and the sexual assault allegations, what got hidden amongst that? Well, the announcement of the Mental Health and Wellbeing Commission. Why would you release it that week? I can tell you why, Mr. Speaker, because it's taken them 2 years to announce something for the Mental Health and Wellbeing Commission. And the Commission is something that not only Labour, but of course it was a key plank of New Zealand First for their election manifesto in 2017. Here we have 2 years into government, and they announced their Mental Health and Wellbeing Commission. And what's the detail around this commission? It's going to be set up in 2 years' time, 2021. Yes, there's an interim one in place, but I would argue 2021 would be 4 years in. This is a government that made mental health a key election issue. They were going to focus on it, makes it transformational and transform. And here they have a Mental Health and Wellbeing Commission that's going to take them 4 years to set up. And it speaks volumes of the problem with a Labour government, because what Labour governments do, they come in and they throw money at things, but they have no detail on mental health and they have no plan. Yes, they announced a huge amount of money, $1.9 billion, but it's funny enough when I asked the Minister how you would break that down. 200 million of that goes into Housing First. Well, potentially there might be some crossover with mental health there. 300 million into transitional housing. I think you can start to sense the theme that's taking course here. 70 million into the establishment of the Royal Commission into historical abuse, and 100 million into resolving claims of historical abuse. Now, I'm not here to say any of those announcements are not valid, but my point being, when you reiterate $1.9 billion, the public believes you are spending that in mental health services, and you're not. Already, those amounts I outlined, around $700 million of that $1.9 billion is not going towards frontline mental health services. Now, we in the opposition want to support the government on mental health. We've joined the cross-party mental health group, but our bottom line is anything we do in mental health needs to provide more frontline mental health services to respond to the growing demand. And what does this government do a few weeks ago for their new frontline mental health service? The first announcement is $9 million. To new services? No. $9 million to cover the cost of existing mental health services and GPs. There will be no new services delivered with that $9 million. And this is a problem. Talking big on numbers, but in fact, no detail and no plan. And now the Health Minister is saying, oh, hold on though, we're thinking it might take 4 or 5 years to roll out. And this is the problem. Delay after delay. We had a $6.5 million inquiry that they kicked the can down the road, they delayed the report, and then here we get all this money. And what was interesting, out of all the budget lines for this $1.9 billion, I went back and checked, because of course the former National Government announced in 2017 $100 million for 17 mental health initiatives. How many of them reappeared in budget 2019? 13 out of those 17. So they came in, they cancelled 17 initiatives and relaunched them 2 years later. They're initiatives and projects that could be making a real difference on the ground today to vulnerable New Zealanders. And that's a problem, Mr. Speaker, with a Labour government. They come in, They announce a lot of money, they throw a lot of money at issues, but let's never forget, State of a Nation report in the last Labor government in their last year said for all their increased expenditure, they did not increase social progress by 1%. Mr Speaker, it's clear this government has no detail on mental health and has no plan.
Order, the member's time has expired. Dr Duncan Webb.
Well, tonight